Welcome back to another episode of the Rip City Roundtable Podcast. I am your shoot first point guard, Corey Dickman, bringing you the latest in Trailblazers news. Today we're recording this December 20th. We are approaching Christmas. We're kind of in the lulls, I guess, of the NBA season. We're about 2 months in. The NBA Cup has just finished. The Blazers were not involved in the finals there, nor did they make it to Vegas, but that's okay. It was a good game. Oklahoma City Thunder losing to the Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo-led Milwaukee Bucks. But that gave the Blazers really 4 days off. So this has been kind of a little mini break. Not quite an all-star break, but a mini little, hey, maybe get healthier or something, area. So Blazers last played against the Phoenix Suns. That was about 5 days ago. But last night they were back in action, and we played the not defending NBA champs. They won that 2 years ago. But the Denver Nuggets, led by Nikola Jokic, who, it's hard to win as many MVPs as this man has won and yet still be at the top of the leaderboard basically for MVP, but yet he is again. Like, Nikola Jokic is just killing it. He's averaging, when you combine points, assists, rebounds, it's like 57. It's like, and that is like an ungodly number. That is not something that is reached all the time. That is like all-time status kind of thing. And if he can maintain that pace, he'll win an MVP again. He'll win another one. As hard as it is to win that many, he's going to win another one. And so just incredible to watch him play last night. It's always fun to play Denver. They're a divisional foe, a divisional rival. I know, the last few seasons haven't felt like the Blazers really have been in contention. So some of these games against these divisional foes haven't really felt like there's been a lot of juice there. But, even going back 5 years ago, right? I mean, when the Blazers, when we made that run to the Western Conference Finals, it was that epic 7-game series against the Nuggets, right? The hood game, right? And game 4, game 3 or game 4, game 7 in Denver, CJ going off, carries the Blazers through that win there to make it to the Western Conference Finals. And then that next season, we're in the bubble. Season after that, it's like we play Denver and we're favored, right, in that matchup. If everyone remembers that 3-6 matchup, no Jamal Murray, and the Blazers just laid an egg in that series. And that probably was the turning point with Dame. I don't know if y'all remember that in the playoffs. It was a gut punch, man. The Blazers were favored to win that series and just came out, didn't play well because Jokic just did Jokic things and just ran all over Portland, and again kind of started to sow the seeds, if you will, of Lillard leaving. And so anytime we can play Denver and play them well and get the W, I don't mean to bury the lead, but get the win, that's always exciting. So last night we played, they came to Moda. Jokic had a great game, but to his level actually was a little subpar. The Blazers did really well. Ayton started the starting lineup of Sharpe, Simons, Tumani, Grant, and Ayton rolled out. So that's kind of our veteran starting lineup there that Chauncey has been using this season when everyone's healthy. And Ayton isn't going to, be a world beater on defense. He kind of lets Jokic have his deal and then tries to get him back on the other end. So he was okay. But it really was the first point of the game. I did the game last night, wrote an analysis piece about it on Blazers Edge. Go check it out on blazersedge.com. But really, Clingan and Rob Williams, they were both healthy in this game too. So Blazers, we had our three centers, Ayton, Time Lord, and Kling Kong, right? Donovan Clingan. So Jokic had to deal with a ton of size and physicality in this game. And I would argue, probably now that Karl Anthony Towns isn't with Minnesota anymore, I would say Portland probably has the best set of bigs to throw at Jokic. I mean, what other team in the NBA has like three legit centers that could start, that two of them have a defensive mindset? Ayton is still a beast, 7 feet tall, long wingspan, physical, athletic. And so gave Jokic problems. He ends up with like 34 points. It was like subpar his assists, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, nowhere near his averages. I mean, he's averaging a triple-double. And he's, like I said, combined 57 is the total. If you combine all those numbers together, you're not at 57. So Portland did a great job, I think, on Jokic to prevent him from getting everybody else really going on his team. So kudos to Klingon, who we're seeing come back from the knee injury. Still looks good, right? I mean, he's a rookie. He's a center. There's a learning curve there, but he comes in and he is making strides. Nailed his corner 3. I think he's 2 for 3 on the season right now. But he gets that set shot, slings it up. I mean, it's going in. So, you know, what can you say? Let's get it. Maybe get him the 3, the corner 3 a little bit more. But, you know, played well in the interior, rebounds, not necessarily blocking a bunch of shots, but just forcing them off their trajectory, right? It's a lot of deflections. He's playing well, and then Rob still comes in and does his thing. So that was my first note. I'd say it ends with a Simons game winner. If you missed it, you got to go back and at least watch the highlights. Super exciting. The Blazers had a 17-point lead going into the fourth quarter, and you could just sense that Portland was going to let that lead slip away. Denver's way too good offensively. Portland is not a good defensive team. And when you get a team like Portland that's young and also is trying to fight to figure out what they're playing for necessarily, and Denver, has had not a great year so far, at least to their standards. So you could just feel Denver was going to come back. And they did. They roared back in the game, tied it up. Basically, it was tied. I mean, it was tied at the end, 124. Simons has the ball with 16 seconds left. They let him go ISO one-on-one. He works his way to the right of the key, a little one-handed runner floater, game winner at the buzzer. And Portland walks off winners, 126-124. So it was a very exciting game, but Simons was not my MVP. It was Toumani Camara. Toumani is doing everything for these Blazers. And it's like, not like it's not, some players will be out there 41 minutes and you're just like, oh, okay, I didn't even realize they played 41 minutes. Toumani's out there. He's taking charges, the offensive rebounds, just the offensive like volleyball tips back to the 3-point line. He's obviously in the passing lanes. He's blocking shots. He literally in one possession was starting off on Jamal Murray, got switched off onto Jokic and defended Jokic, and he didn't score. It's like, if you can guard Jamal Murray in the same position that you can guard Jokic and be effective, you guard everybody. I mean, so Toumani is like taking the challenge. He's getting in people's face, and that defensive side has never been the question for Toumani. Game 1, we saw that. Preseason last year, we saw that. But it's the 3-point shot still hitting. Toumani went 2 for 5 in this game, and if I'm doing the math, that's 40%, which is if he can stay at a 40% clip from 3-point range, that is game changer. There was a play where Toumani took his man off the dribble. I think it even might have been Watson, who's a great defender. I could be wrong on who his defender was. But Toumani, top of the lane, or top of the key, crossover move straight to the hoop, using his right hand, and then does this like crazy little left hand hook deal. If that develops and his 3-point shot stays consistent, he could be the star of that Damian Lillard trade. And we've talked about it on the podcast before with Connor and Adrian. We've talked about this. Toumani is slowly becoming that piece that may have been considered throw-in for people that didn't know who he was, to now being probably the one that people will talk about years down the road. So that was exciting to see Toumani play really well tonight for the Blazers. Obviously, the two guards, Sharpe and Simons, we'll get all the accolades, right? They combined for 55 points. They combined for 14 assists. Simons was playmaking. He hit the game winner. Sharpe really, even though he didn't hit the game-winning shot, kind of took over late in the fourth quarter with just his ability to get to the rim and get fouled. The 3-point shot, the mid-range shot. I mean, Sharpe is just becoming that dude. And we've said it time and time again, like Portland needs that guy. And it may not be Scoot, but based on last night, Sharpe has the tools for it. Simons is still an incredible offensive player. I will always say that. No one doubts that, right? And now that his passing ability is showing up, 10 assists tonight. I mean, Simons 10 assist games were so rare before. But tonight, he's passing over the top of his defender. He's hitting guys in the corner. He's better court vision in transition. All those things were on display last night. Now, again, Denver, are they a defensive juggernaut? No. They're like right there at the bottom of the league with Portland. It's like with the Wizards, Portland, Denver, right? I mean, it's like they're there. So we probably weren't going to see a knockdown defensive effort from Denver tonight, which allowed Portland obviously to play a better offensive game. So that's always nice. But but what he is doing translates beyond just a poor defensive team. What Simons is doing from the point guard position, and in the past that could not have been said from him at the point guard position. So tonight was last night was a great performance by him. I will say, Scoot. Oh, Scoot. There was a sequence here in the game where he looked like when you'd have a JV player come up on varsity and get like 2 minutes of run, and it's just not pretty. And it was an air ball. It was like he got to the rim. He's so fast. He gets to the rim, but then it looked like he didn't know what to do. And he had Jokic like defending him basically in the paint. It's like, dude, take it up on Jokic. Jokic isn't going to want to block anybody. But like Scoot got, I think, he hesitated, kicked it back out. Like, it's just not that part of it wasn't exciting. You want to see more growth there from Scoot. The fouls still keep coming. A part of that, I think, is just him being young, not getting respect from refs, but there's still a lot of foul issues from Scoot that are kind of like not things that are like not smart fouls in most of the time. So, but then almost in the same breath, he makes these mistakes, and then like 2 or 3 minutes later, he's like hitting a three. He's finding Simons open in the corner twice. Like, he knows where to get his guy. Scoot knows, I need to find Simons over here. Pinpoint pass, Simons knock down threes. So there's that happening. And then he's just so quick. Like, when Lillard was a younger player, 2014, 2015, like, we saw that speed from Lillard, but Scoot's faster. Scoot is so fast. And seeing that speed, if he can just harness it, we say it, I turn until I turn blue in the face. But if he can like figure out how to play fast yet slow, be quick but not in a hurry, right? That dude will unlock another level that not many people will be able to ever get to in their whole career. So, but will it happen? I don't know. It's awkward him coming off the bench. I don't think he's not suited for that. I don't know what the next step is, but tonight, at least against Denver, he had a plus-minus of +4. So when Scoot was out there, he was positive. He has so much attention on him, so it feels like he's just not panning out. But genuinely, he does things well. He just, his mistakes are just so magnified that it's what people remember, and they usually just happen in bunches. But then the other side happens is when he's doing things well, they happen in bunches, and so. It's the roller coaster. And that's what I use that term in my analysis piece last night. It's the roller coaster of Scoot Henderson, man. It's just the ups, the downs. Sometimes he's great. The Indiana game, great. Comes the next night, not great. Right? Tonight, first 3 minutes, awful. Next 6 minutes, great. Like, it's just like, he's young. He didn't have a great development with the G League Ignite. So really his development has been when he's been with the Blazers. So maybe you say last season was his college year and this is his rookie season or something. I mean, I think there's ways to justify it. I don't think we need to get off the bandwagon yet. We still need to be excited for what we have. I think Scoot still has everything there, but we just got to see what happens. So, but it was an exciting game last night. I wanted to win. I was rooting for us. The way the game was playing out, we don't want to choke away a lead like that. But sometimes it's like, well, we are still trying to not have a great record, so we get a good lottery pick. But, when it's in the moment, I'm always going to root for us to win. Like, and especially against Denver, especially against Jokic, coming off of a break, having the team, like, people playing tonight, Klingon, Scoot, Tumani Camara, like Shaden Sharpe, Advia, I didn't even mention Advia. He played so well from a playmaking perspective and just brings a little gusto to the team. Just the way he mixes it up and he like cares. Like this guy is like, I mean, you could have asked Denny tonight if this was like game 3 of a playoff series, and he would have looked the same. Like he's playing hard. So I love Denny. He played really well coming off the bench. So we had our guys. Like we see the players that are most likely going to be on this roster moving forward down the road, seasons down the road. And they're getting a big win against a Denver team that, again, may not be their peak Denver team from 2 years ago, but is still a team that you have to consider as a title contender just because of Nikola Jokic. That you have to. For you to not count Denver in the mix is being foolish. So Portland comes out and gets a big win against that Denver team, who was rested as well. They didn't play in any cup games, so they're coming off some rest. They can put their best foot forward. They have Jamal Murray. They had Aaron Gordon. They had Michael Porter Jr., Christian Brown. Like they threw out their guys, and Portland counterpunched their way to a victory with the Simons game winner. So it's an exciting time. I know record-wise it doesn't feel like it, but I'm telling you, this season, this time to be watching Blazer games, to be reading articles on Blazers Edge, all of our writers are killing it. They're going in depth. They're showing you the playbook. They're telling you what the steps are going to be. The next month and a half, honestly, it's going to be trade season, and there's going to be a bunch of rumors flying around. Get on BlazersEdge.com. That's the best place to follow. You can get on Twitter and follow your people, but Blazers Edge will have all the breaking news and the analysis behind it. So check it out. I'm so glad. Thank you for listening to this episode of Rip City Roundtable Podcast. I know it's just me today. We'll have a guest next week. We'll start to we have some new writers at Blazers Edge, so we need to get to know who they are. I'm excited to dive in and get to know their story. But thank you as always for riding with me, for joining me at the roundtable here. Big win last night. Good job, Blazers. Go Blazers. And as always, it is a great day to be a Blazer.